back to RPMbassy. So the record I'm going to be talking about today, I've been sitting on this for a good kind of 3-4 weeks, waiting to do this video because I had some other kind of anniversary records to do in the last couple of videos that you've seen. The band I'm talking about, Simple Minds, who are one of my favourite bands, especially the older stuff. The album I'm going to be talking about is Once Upon a Time, which is a 7th album which came out on the 21st of October 1985 of Virgin Records. This is the record I'm talking about here. In the US, it's on A&M Records. It did reach number 1 in the UK albums charts. I mean, once I talk about the records on here, you'll understand why. And it peaked at number 10 on the US Billboard 200. Good going. Although they were already kind of, at the time of the release of this record, they were already successful because they just had the big track in the Breakfast Club film, Don't You Forget About Me. When they recorded that song, they were reluctant about that song. They weren't kind of over the moon about it. So Don't You Forget About Me isn't actually on this album, but it was recorded at the same time. The later versions of the album, this one version I'm talking about now, has it on the album. It should have always been on this album, but they didn't think it was worthy of the album. That's why it was never on the original press of this album. It does share quite a few similarities with the previous album, Sparkle in the Rain. Again, Sparkle in the Rain is a really good album, a couple of good tracks on there. I will do a video on it at some point because that is probably one of my favourite albums from Simple Minds. I probably like it more than this one, but some good tracks on here. And it's also, this was the first album without their original bassist, Derek Forbes, who left the band after recording Don't You Forget About Me, and was replaced by former Brand X bassist, I don't know who Brand X are, John Giblin. Forbes would rejoin the band in 1998 for the album Neapolis. Sorry to pronounce that wrong, but he did rejoin the band later on. 4 singles were released from this album originally. So you had it Live and Kickin', which was kind of released before the release of the album, just kind of promote the album, which did really well. That was in 1985, September 1985, reaching number 7 in the UK charts and number 3 in the US. Because remember at this time they were like huge. I mean, massive stadiums. And I'll show you some of the artwork on here. You'll understand why. Then they released Sanctify Yourself, was released just after the album. That came out in January 1986. I mean, that seems so long ago now, 1986, but it did reach number 10 in the UK and number 14 in the US. After that, they released All the Things She Said, which was released in March 1986. It was a UK number 9, a US number 28. So you can see that the tracks are starting to kind of just dip just that little bit more because they were everywhere at one point. And I'm sure people were getting fed up seeing them everywhere. And then finally, the last single from this was Ghost Dancing, which was released in November 1986. It got to number 13 in the UK. And number 28 again in the US. So drop in there, but it's still good, especially kind of the US. Now, all the proceeds from All the Things She Said in Ghost Dancing were donated to Amnesty International. I do remember lots of kind of campaigns at that particular time. Also, just kind of let you know, before I kind of talk about the 40th anniversary, this was released with 2 different covers. And on the 40th anniversary, this one I'm talking about is now a gatefold, so you get to see both covers that came out with this album. So the whole idea... they had alternate covers, so you had this one, which is one, and then the other one you had this one. So the whole idea in the shops, they were put together, you create a grid with this, so you had like the whole artwork. But that was the original 2 covers, but it only came out in a single vinyl. So if you do have the 2 original single vinyl with the 2 covers, cover 1 and cover 2. So basically, it was exactly like this here, the Simple Minds logo, but the other cover had it down here, so obviously got the credits here. But that was the 2 covers. It did come out in 2 different versions. For the 40th anniversary, to celebrate the 40th anniversary, they released the Once Upon a Time Again album on 2 different formats. So they got the double vinyl, the gatefold sleeve. It's actually not double vinyl, it's actually single vinyl, but they released it on a gatefold sleeve on red vinyl, which I'm going to show you in a second. Featuring the iconic photo of the band of Live Aid as well. I'm going to show that as well. So there's your front cover. So that would have been cover number 1 for the original release, and that was cover number 2. So nothing's changed there. You've got the track titles there. But as you kind of open up with this new gatefold, that's what it would have looked like in the original release in the shops when they put it 2 covers back together, back to back. You have this whole kind of grid. So you have the extended kind of photos. But that there, cover 1, cover 2, But the 40th anniversary's got the gatefold, so you've got 2 sleeves. Now the inside is a photo taken of the band at Live Aid. I mean, what an iconic photo. That's just great to have as well. What a brilliant photo. Again, this is on the gatefold. So it is only one vinyl, but it's so nice having this gatefold for this album here. But some of the tracks on here, again, you've got Once Upon a Time, All Things She Said, Ghost Dancing, and obviously the first time on vinyl on the album is Don't You Forget About Me, because obviously it wasn't on the previous, it wasn't on the original, but it should have been, because it did come out exactly the same time, recorded at the same time as the album. But it's good to see it where it should have been in the first place on this album. I Wish You Were Here, Sanctify Yourself, Come a Long Way. Every track on here is a really good track. I mean, if I had to pick one, Ghost Dancing is probably my favourite on here. I think I'd heard Don't You Forget About Me so often. All the Things She Said, I heard it so often. Sanctify, it was just played everywhere. But I do like Ghost Dancing on this album. But every track on here is, you know, definitely, you know, a stadium Simple Minds. The stadium version of Simple Minds. This is it. All the tracks on here. Now the vinyl itself, again, you've got all your kind of song titles, or you've got the lyrics, you've got your credits, who did the artwork, who was in the band at the time, where it was recorded, art direction. So it's quite nice. I love reading kind of credits on a lot of the albums. Who did the artwork? Who was it inspired by? Was it a copy of something? It's great. But the vinyl is a lovely red vinyl. Look at that. I'm shivering a little bit because it's actually freezing here. It's been cold for about a week, and I've got no heating down where I record my videos, so I'm actually shivering slightly. So if you hear a little wobble on my vocal, that is why. But there you go. That's the vinyl. Side 1, side 2, an amazing kind of red vinyl. Now this did also come out on a 5 CD edition, which I didn't get because I normally find 5 CDs is a bit too much, to be honest, and normally they kind of just fill it with fodder, and I feel like on the 5 CD you've got like the B-sides of rarities, extended mixes. Extended mixes is something that I really like to listen to, because I have got a few of the 12 inches from this album, some really nice kind of extended mixes on there. A booklet, I like to see that, the old photos. But then there's also like a live in the City of Light. I'm not sure what year that was from. If it's from the same time, great. But if it's kind of more recent, and that's spread over 2 CDs, I've never seen the band live. I've obviously seen the kind of videos and video footage and stuff. You know, incredible live band. I love them. I think they're just brilliant. Obviously, with this you get the hype sticker. I always collect the hype stickers as well. This has got Once Upon a Time, 40th Anniversary Contains, Don't You Forget About Me, exclusive red vinyl. Always keep your hype stickers, you never know. But that is the iconic Simple Minds with the 40th anniversary of Once Upon a Time on red vinyl, and gatefold with the 2 original sleeves that came out the original version in 1985. There you go. If you don't have it, go get it. Thank you very much.